What is that color? It looks like someone smeared swamp water on a perfectly good house. I don't care if your sick mother picked it, Mr. Park. Your sick mother doesn't decide what this street looks like. I do. You have 30 days. Fix it, or I'll have someone fix it for you. And don't make me come back here. A man sits on his front porch in Phoenix. Violation letter on his knee. $5,000 for a paint color on a house his family built. Nathan Park, 34, real estate attorney. He bought this house 6 months ago, his mother's childhood home. $385,000 to buy it back after 30 years. He painted it coastal sage because his mother Helen chose that color at the hardware store. It was the last clear decision she ever made. 3 days later, she stopped recognizing his face. $5,000. That's 60 visits to his mother at Sunrise Assisted Living. That's 4 months of her care copay. That's the security deposit for the full-time nurse he's been saving for. Because most days now, Helen thinks Nathan is a stranger who brings her lunch. For a paint color a dying woman pointed to with her own hand. The last time she ever chose anything. He's a real estate lawyer. He reads contracts for a living. And when he asked to see the original CC and Rs, something didn't look right. No county recorder's stamp, no recording number, no file date. So he checked. 5 words came back from the Maricopa County Recorder's Office. No record found. This HOA has been collecting fees for 40 years from 240 homes. $1.2 million. And the document that gives them authority to do any of it was never filed. It doesn't exist. It never existed. The developer who was supposed to file it died in 1991. Nobody finished the job. And the woman who's been running this HOA for 18 years? She found out in 2018. She buried it. Hey everyone, someone sent me this post at about 3 a.m., one of those nights. The title alone stopped me cold. My HOA has been collecting fees for 40 years. It was never legally registered to exist. I read it twice. Then I read the whole thing. 62,000 people upvoted this. Top comment. I just searched my county recorder's office. Now I can't sleep. But the part that kept me glued wasn't the numbers. It was the moment he searched the county records. 5 words came back and erased 40 years. This post didn't just go viral. It made people question every fee they've ever paid. How does a real estate lawyer use a single county record search to erase a 40-year-old HOA from existence? And what is the dead developers clause? The filing error that makes everything this HOA ever did illegal. If you've ever paid HOA dues, you might want to check your county records after this. Follow the channel, because 5 words changed everything. Nathan moves to Cypress Ridge in the fall of 2023. Quiet suburb, northeast Phoenix. Mostly retirees and young families. The kind of neighborhood where people wave from their driveways and complain about nothing. He moves here for one reason. Helen Park, 68, his mother. Early onset dementia. She lives 10 minutes away at Sunrise Assisted Living. Some days she recognizes Nathan. Most days she doesn't. She calls him the nice young man, or the delivery boy, or nothing at all. She sits by the window and hums songs she can't name. Nathan visits every evening after work, reads to her, holds her hand, waits for the moments she comes back, even if they only last 30 seconds. In January, the doctor pulls Nathan into the hallway. Quiet voice, the kind people use when they've given bad news before. The windows of clarity are getting shorter, Nathan, faster than we expected. Nathan looks at Helen through the glass door. She's humming a song she can't name. By next year, she may not speak at all. This house, 4812 Cypress Lane, is the house Helen grew up in, the Park family home. Helen's parents bought it in 1987. Helen lived here until she married Nathan's father in 1994. The house was sold in 1993. Nathan tracked it down through old property records and bought it back for $385,000. He thought maybe, if she saw it again, something would come back. The first day Nathan walks through the door, the place is empty. Worn hardwood, a thin layer of dust, the smell of 30 years with no one home. He puts his hand on the living room wall. This is where his mother used to run around the table as a kid. This is where his grandfather used to sit and read the paper. He doesn't know if the house can bring anything back, but he has to try. 8 months ago, Nathan took Helen to the hardware store. She hadn't recognized him in 11 days. He almost didn't go. But that morning, she looked up from her breakfast and said, "Nathan, you look tired." His name. She said his name. He got in the car before it could disappear. They walked the paint aisle together, Helen's hand on Nathan's arm, steadying herself. She was slow. She stopped twice to touch the wall. Then she reached up, picked up a paint swatch, held it up to the fluorescent light. Her hand was shaking, but her eyes were clear. This one, like the ocean when your father proposed. Nathan's father died 5 years ago. Helen doesn't always remember Nathan's name, but she remembers the ocean and the color of the water and the man who asked her to marry him on a beach in Monterey. The disease took her words, her memories, her children's faces, but it couldn't take that beach. Coastal sage. Nathan painted the house himself, 3 weekends. Every stroke is Helen choosing. He didn't know it then, but that was the last time she would ever choose anything. 3 days after the hardware store, Helen stopped recognizing him again. She hasn't said his name since. Nancy Hartwell, the kind of woman who alphabetizes her spice rack and calls it community safety. Retired school administrator, 67, floral blouses, reading glasses on a chain, laminated checklists for every task, color-coded spreadsheets for every house, every violation, every payment. She walks the neighborhood every Saturday with a clipboard and a tape measure. 18 years as HOA president. Ran unopposed every time because nobody cared enough to challenge her. Nancy's system. Photo, formal letter, 30-day deadline. Efficient, impersonal. She doesn't raise her voice. She doesn't need to. The spreadsheet does the threatening for her. Her enforcers. Doris Lamb, 61, board secretary. She lives 3 doors from Nathan. She photographs every discrepancy and emails Nancy before the homeowner even notices. HOA's eyes. Greg Nolan, 48, property manager. 15% commission on every fine collected. More fines, more money. HOA's fist. Mr. Yates, 81, fined $3,200 for an oversized mailbox. It was standard USPS issue. He paid. Didn't know he could fight. Lisa Okafor, 38, fined $1,500 for a trampoline visible from the street. Removed it. Her daughter cried for a week. Tom Whitfield, 72, retired electrician. First homeowner in Cypress Ridge, moved in 1987. His wife Margaret died 2 years ago. 3 months after the funeral, Nancy fined him $800 for an unapproved memorial garden in the front yard. Flowers Margaret had planted. Tom paid, ripped the flowers out. His hand shook when he carried the pots to the trash. At my age, I can't fight them. That's how they've always done it. 12 exterior modification fines in 6 years. 4 paid. 8 got liens. 0 questioned whether the CC&Rs were real. In 40 years, not one person had ever asked to see the original filed copy. Until Nathan. Nathan submits a formal request to review the fine. Attends the violation hearing. Community room. Fluorescent lights, folding chairs. Nancy, Doris, Carol Eng, a board member of 8 years, and 3 homeowners watching. Nathan presents his case. The paint is within 2 shades of the approved palette. He offers to submit a retroactive application. Any color on the list, anything. Just leave Helen's color alone. Nancy adjusts her reading glasses, flips a page. Mr. Park, I've heard the story. Your mother is ill. That's unfortunate. She sets the glasses down. But your mother's illness doesn't give you a special exemption from community standards. The color is not on the list. It drags the whole street down. She closes the binder. That's how we've always done it. Nathan reaches into his bag, takes out his checkbook, pen on paper. $5,000. Thinks of Helen at the hardware store. This one, like the ocean. He stops, puts the pen down. Can I see the original CC&Rs, the recorded copy? The clerk brings a 3-ring binder from the filing cabinet. Nathan flips through it. It looks official. Headers, signatures, clauses, professional formatting, decades of reference sections. But Nathan is a real estate lawyer. He reads documents for a living, and he notices what isn't there. No county recorder's stamp, no recording number, no file date. Where's the recorded copy? The one filed with the county? The clerk shifts in her chair. This is what we have, Nancy interrupts. Mr. Park, these CC and Rs have been in effect for 40 years. They don't need your legal review. The fine stands. Nathan photographs every page, doesn't say another word, walks out. 2 weeks later, Nancy adds a $2,000 late fee. Then she hires a painter. Nathan doesn't know until he pulls into his driveway. Nathan drives home from Sunrise. Bad day. Helen didn't recognize him, called him the delivery man. He talked to her for 45 minutes. She smiled politely and asked when her son was coming. He pulls into the driveway. 2 men on ladders, beige paint over coastal sage, over Helen's color. Nathan's hands grip the steering wheel. He doesn't move for a full minute. Gets out, walks to the lead painter. Who sent you? HOA office. Lady said the homeowner approved the correction. I'm the homeowner. I didn't approve anything. Stop. The painter looks at the wall, half beige, half sage. Shrugs, packs up, leaves. Nathan stands in the driveway, looks at the paint line. Sage on one side, beige on the other. His mother's last clear choice, cut in half by a woman with a clipboard. He reaches up and touches the sage side. Still his mother's. Still the ocean. Still the proposal. His hands drop. He doesn't go inside for a long time. Tom Whitfield knocks on Nathan's door that evening, sees the half-painted wall. They got you too, huh? Tom's story comes out over coffee. $180,000 in dues over 37 years. Margaret's memorial garden, ripped out after he paid the fine. I should have fought, but that's how they've always done it, son. Nathan sets his coffee down. Tom, has anyone ever seen the original CC and Rs, the filed copy? Tom pauses. In 37 years, I've never thought to ask. Next morning, Nathan drives to the Maricopa County Recorder's office, 3rd floor, record search terminal. He types, Cypress Ridge Homeowners Association Declaration of Covenants, Conditions, and Restrictions. The search runs, spinning wheel. No record found. Nathan types again, different spelling, abbreviations. No record found. He calls the clerk over. I'm looking for recorded CC and Rs for a subdivision called Cypress Ridge, established 1986. The clerk checks archives, paper files, digital backlog, 30 minutes. Sir, we have no recorded document matching that description. If CC and Rs were never recorded with this office, they have no legal effect on the properties in that subdivision. Nathan sits in his car, parking lot, hands on the steering wheel. 5 words on a screen that erase 40 years of fees, fines, liens, and rules. No record found. Back home, Nathan opens his laptop, searches Arizona business filings. John Mitchell. Built Cypress Ridge in 1986. Mitchell Development LLC. Nathan leans back in his chair when he reads the next line. John Mitchell died of a heart attack in 1991, age 52. His company was dissolved by his family in 1993. CC and Rs are filed by the developer during the initial subdivision recording. Mitchell started the process, drafted the documents, got signatures, prepared the filing. Then he died. Nobody in his family completed it. Nobody in 40 years ever checked. The HOA formed anyway. In 1987, a group of homeowners elected a board, started collecting dues, started enforcing rules based on a document that was never legally effective, never recorded, never binding, never real. $1.2 million collected. 240 homes. 40 years. Built on a piece of paper that was never filed. Nathan looks at the half-painted wall when he gets home. Sage and beige. Helen's choice and Nancy's correction. One side real, one side imposed. Nathan calls his managing partner. I found something. My HOA has been operating illegally for 40 years. How illegal? Completely. The CC&Rs were never recorded. Nothing they've ever done has legal standing. That's a massive fight, Nathan. Nancy has allies. Nathan looks at the wall. This isn't about a paint color. It's about 240 families paying for something that doesn't exist. She already picked the fight. I'm just picking up the weapon. Nathan contacts Carol Ng, the quiet board member, the one who always looked uncomfortable when Nancy ran the meetings. Carol, I know the CC&Rs were never recorded. I need to know, did anyone on the board know? Carol is quiet for a long time, coffee getting cold between her hands. I told Nancy in 2018. Carol, doing quarterly reconciliation, noticed the CC&Rs binder had no recording number. She searched county records herself, found nothing, brought it to Nancy privately. Nancy's response: Carol, the originals are in the developer's estate files. Our copy is sufficient. This doesn't change anything. Don't bring this up at a meeting. It would cause unnecessary panic. Carol, I should have pushed. But she's Nancy. She's been running this place since before I moved in. I told myself she was right. She wasn't right. She was scared. Nathan pulls HOA records. 12 exterior modification fines in 6 years. Mr. Yates's mailbox, Lisa's trampoline, Tom's garden, Nathan's paint. Every single one based on CC&Rs that don't exist. Every dollar collected under false authority. Carol slides her phone across the table. Photos. Nancy's house, 2019. New paint job. Tuscan sunset. No approval application. No fine. Same approved pallet rule she enforced on everyone else, never applied to herself. The woman who fined a man for painting his dementia mother's childhood home had painted her own house without permission. Nathan drafts a formal legal notice to all 240 homeowners, files a complaint with the Arizona Real Estate Department, notifies the state attorney general's office. That night, Nathan sits in front of his laptop, looks at the evidence folder, then looks at the half-painted wall through the window. He calls Sunrise Assisted Living, asks about Helen. The night nurse says, she's doing okay today. She asked when the nice young man was coming. Nathan hangs up. If he's wrong, Nancy will sue. Legal fees, double fines, money he's been saving for Helen's full-time nurse. He looks at the Coastal Sage paint swatch on his desk, corner already curling. 240 families, he says to himself, not just me. Nathan and Tom organize a petition. 198 of 240 households sign. 3 demands: full dissolution, full refund of all dues collected, Nancy's resignation. Nancy sees the petition. She doesn't resign. She calls an emergency board meeting, not to settle, not to apologize, to reaffirm the association's authority. She still believes she can win. She still believes that's how they've always done it. Can Nathan hold up when the fight is no longer about a $5,000 fine, but about a 40-year institution crashing down on his head? The following week, Nancy hires attorney Bradley Sims, $400 an hour. Bradley reviews the case, county records, Nathan's notice, the unrecorded CC&Rs, Carol's testimony. Meets Nancy the next day. Mrs. Hartwell, there is no defense. CC&Rs that were never recorded with the county have no legal effect. Every fine, every lien, every dollar collected, actionable. I strongly recommend you resign and cooperate with the dissolution. This is my community. I've protected it for 18 years. You've administered a community under documents that have no legal standing. That's not protection. That's liability. He stands. I can't represent you. Good luck. Nancy sits alone in the HOA office, filing cabinets around her. 18 years of color-coded folders, laminated schedules, alphabetized violation records, all based on nothing. She doesn't resign. She calls the emergency meeting. Emergency HOA meeting. The community room is standing room only. 198 people and counting, folding chairs overflowing into the hallway. Fluorescent lights buzzing. Nancy opens. Clipboard. Laminated agenda. This meeting is about reaffirming the authority of this association, which has served Cypress Ridge for 40 years. Nathan stands. The room goes quiet. Mrs. Hartwell, before we begin, I have one question. You're out of order, Mr. Park. Show me the original. Nancy's hand tightens on the clipboard. I beg your pardon? The original recorded CC and Rs, filed with the Maricopa County Recorder's Office. The document that gives this HOA legal authority to collect fees, issue fines, and place liens on our homes. Silence. Show me the original, Nancy. We have the binder. The CC and Rs have been in effect for... The binder has no recorder's stamp, no recording number, no file date. I checked with the county myself. Their response was 5 words. Nathan holds up the printout, reads it aloud. No record found. 2 seconds. The room doesn't breathe. The developer of this subdivision, John Mitchell, drafted these CC and Rs in 1986. He died of a heart attack in 1991 before he filed them. His company dissolved in 1993. Nobody ever completed the filing. For 40 years, this HOA has collected dues, issued fines, placed liens, and enforced rules under a document that was never legally recorded. Everything this HOA has ever done has no legal standing. Tom Whitfield stands, voice shaking. I paid $180,000 over 40 years to an organization that never existed? The room absorbs it. 40 years, $1.2 million, 240 families, all of it. Nothing. Nathan looks at Nancy. You told me. That's how we've always done it. 1 second. You've always done it illegally. Carol Ng stands. Nancy, I told you about this in 2018. I showed you the county records. You told me to bury it. The room erupts. 40 years of quiet compliance cracking open all at once. Nancy grips the podium. I was protecting this community. Tom Whitfield from his chair. You were protecting your clipboard. The room breaks. Laughter first, then anger, then emotion. Vote. 198 in favor of dissolution, 3 against. Cypress Ridge Homeowners Association is dissolved after 40 years. It never legally existed in the first place. 40 years of dues, 240 families, 12 fines, 8 liens, all built on a piece of paper that a man who died 30 years ago never got around to filing. And a woman who knew and chose silence. 92% of storage used. If you run out, you can't create, edit, and upload files. Get 30 gigabytes for 5,000 dong for 3 months. 19,000 dong. HOA dissolves officially. All fines rescinded. $5,000 paint violation, erased. $2,000 late fee, erased. $180,000 Tom Whitfield paid over 37 years, actionable. Class action filed for restitution of $1.2 million in illegally collected dues. Tom Whitfield is lead plaintiff. Nathan represents pro bono. $5,000 paint fine. $400 an hour lawyer who lasted 24 hours. $180,000 paid for nothing. $1.2 million collected for 40 years under a document that doesn't exist. $0, the legal authority of the Cypress Ridge HOA. Nancy Hartwell resigns, doesn't attend the next 3 neighborhood gatherings. 18 years of color-coded folders packed into boxes. Someone sees her carrying them to the recycling bin on a Tuesday morning. She doesn't look up. Greg Nolan's property management contract, terminated. 15% commission on illegally collected fines. His company quietly settles. Nathan sends Nancy a certified letter. An invoice. $1.2 million in illegally collected assessments. Attached, a post-it note. That's how we've always done it, with a little heart drawn next to it. Nancy doesn't respond. Arizona State Senator Rebecca Torres cites the case when introducing Senate Bill 1149, requiring county recorder verification of all HOA CC and Rs prior to any fee collection or lien placement. The bill passes committee unanimously. Tom starts the Cypress Ridge Memorial Garden Club. 14 neighbors join in the first week. They plant flowers in Tom's front yard, the garden Nancy made him rip out. Margaret's roses bloom again in the spring. Nathan repaints the house. Coastal sage. The whole thing this time. 3 weekends. Every stroke. One Sunday, Nathan drives Helen to the house. She's in the passenger seat. She doesn't remember the house, doesn't remember that Nathan bought it, doesn't remember that the HOA fined him, or that the paint caused a war, or that an entire institution collapsed because of a color she chose at a hardware store. But she looks at the wall, touches it with her fingertips. What a pretty color, like the ocean. Nathan doesn't say anything. He just holds her hand. Subscribe, because next week, an HOA treasurer has been funneling $55,000 through ghost invoices for 3 years. The forensic accountant who catches her? She's the treasurer's own sister. And the spreadsheet she finds changes everything. Is your HOA legally registered? Because after this story, you might want to check. If you found out tomorrow that your HOA had never been legally registered, would you keep paying? Or would you do what Nathan did? 5 words. No record found. Share this with anyone who pays HOA dues. And remember, that's how we've always done it, is not a legal defense.